Good evening, y'all. It is Sunday, August 18th, 2024, and I have an update on the construction of the new Smith County Courthouse. This kind of surprised me. So, yesterday afternoon, Saturday the 17th, I was scrolling through my Tyler, Texas and Photographs Past and Present Facebook group, and somebody commented that they had torn down and actually showed a picture of more buildings on Saturday, which kind of surprised me. I'm like, I thought they didn't work on weekends, but apparently they're really pushing this project through. And so I got my car and headed into Tyler. And so if y'all don't know and weren't aware, I don't live in Tyler. I'm about 20 to 30 minutes out of Tyler. I just work in Tyler. And because I work downtown, I'm able to go after work and take pictures. Well, with that being said, I get off at 5, and after 5, the sun is behind me, which is good because I don't have the glare from the sun, but it's kind of bad because it makes it difficult for me to see the screen on my phone. And so I'm trying to the pictures, honestly, I'm taking are almost blind because I have to put the phone over the fence because they put that cover, that blue cover. And so I'm taking the phone over the fence, trying to look at what I'm taking and tap, tap, tap on the picture. So I do the best I can. Anyway, so that being said, I went to, let's see. Let me scroll down here a second. Christopher. So I want to do a shout out to Christopher on Facebook for letting me know about this. And so I went over there and they did tear down, let's see, the building located at 105 North Spring. So that was the building located directly next door to the New York store, former New York store. And then 107 North Spring, that was the building that had the green awning out front. And what's interesting was at one point, Don Juan's, from what I understand, they were planning on relocating to that building and doubling the size of their restaurant. And then 119 North Spring, and this one I'm really sad about. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, so don't get me wrong, but I am really sad about 119 North Spring because that's the former Arcadia Theater building. So at one point we had 3 theaters, or remnants of theaters. One of them still in full service, the Liberty Hall, which used to be the Liberty Theater, which that's located on Irwin Street, just east of Broadway. And then you had the Arcadia Theater, which had been renovated and currently a law office. I got to go there one time for an event. It was really neat. They left a lot of the theater features, and where the stage was, they still left the archway and put glass in from top to bottom with glass doors, and that was the conference room, so they can still maintain the aesthetics. And the balcony, they kept that, and there was like a sitting area and then offices down on below. And then the third one is the Tyler Theater located on Broadway just behind Rick's on the Square. And that one, the building itself is gone, but the facade with where the doors used to be and I guess it was a ticket booth or where they would advertise the movies is still there, but that's all that remains. So that's pretty cool. But unfortunately, the Arcadia Theater is gone. And so that was 3 buildings they demolished yesterday. 119, the former Arcadia, 111 and 107. Now, what's interesting is as I'm researching this, I'm looking at when these buildings were constructed, because we're all thinking, oh, these are historical buildings. Yes, some of them are historical. So you've got, like on the Irwin Street side, you have one that was built in 1946, one built in 1957, one built in 1955. In the corner on Irwin and Spring, you've got the New York store built in 1955. So for me, that was before I was born. So to me, that is historic. Then you have where the buildings that burned, where they kept the front facade, but built like a little park. Don't know when those buildings were constructed, but the park was built in 2009. And then the P. Pabst building, I couldn't find a construction date, but looking at it, I would say it was historic. And then you have the building that was next door to the New York building, was built in 1905. That's really historic. That's well over 100 years old. And then the Arcadia Theater, which according to the Smith County Appraisal District's website was built in 1905. Now, don't get me wrong, These dates I'm getting strictly from the Smith County Appraisal District's website. So I'm trusting these are accurate, but I leave that door open, if you will. But for sake of documenting the history, that's the dates I'm using. And then the building with the green awning at 107 North Spring Avenue, if you look at all the pictures, has that green awning out front. That one surprised me. According to Smith County Historical Records, that was built in 1972, again, before I was born. But compared to the others in 1905, definitely, and 1946, 1955, 1972 is really not historic. So there are bits and pieces here in this block that are historic, and some that really aren't. There's one more building on the North Spring Avenue side that's was standing as of yesterday, and that's on the corner of Ferguson and Spring. And then there's 3 buildings that's facing Ferguson that's across the street from the courthouse annex. Those buildings, I don't know when they were constructed. The way I'm doing this project is I'm not looking ahead at these addresses. I'm waiting until they're brought down. Then I go to the Smith County Appraisal District's website and I see when they were built, and then that's when I create my map and type in the address and the year it was built and when it was demolished. And if I can't find the year it was built, then I just put demolished and then the date. So I'm curious if they work today. I haven't seen any posts. The fact that they brought down 3 buildings yesterday, they may spend the time cleaning up the debris, if anything. And that's what I've noticed. They'll bring a couple of buildings, 1 or 2 buildings down, and then there'll be a day or 2 and they'll clean up the debris and then move forward. So I did post on my Facebook a history of the courthouses, the 1910 versus the 1955 versus the future one. I'm going to call it the 2026 one. The projected opening date for the new courthouse is fall of 2026, but you know, that's still a couple of years away. The way our weather has been could cause setbacks. So you don't know. We don't know. And I usually add 6 months to that, which would say if it's in the fall of 26, then I would say spring of 27. But we'll see. We'll come back to this video and see if I'm right. Not that I'm trying to be right. Diet Coke, yay. You know what's interesting, if you look at the map, the buildings that are still standing, not the one on the corner of Ferguson and Spring, but the other 3 that's kind of behind, that's facing Ferguson across the street from the annex. If you take that and flip it upside down, the shape of it almost resembles the shape of the Plaza Tower, which is the tall glass, the black glass skyscraper, if you will. It's like 18 or 19 stories tall. It's the tallest building in Tyler. So it almost resembles that. So I don't know if y'all have noticed that or not. But I will share that. When they bring those buildings down, then I'll share that on my Facebook page, because I don't think everybody on my Facebook page knows about this YouTube. What I'm doing is I am making a playlist as this goes along, and then once that playlist gets done, then I'll share it to my Facebook page, or from my Facebook group for Tyler, Texas. But yeah, so that is where we're at. Progress is, and you know what's funny is I think, wow, they're really moving fast. If I look at the first building that came down, which was that law firm there on Irwin Street, it was brought down on August the 5th. Well, today's August 18th. I mean, that's like, what, 13 days ago? So you figure 1 building a day on average, 1 to 2 buildings. Wow. You know, it is fast, but not really, because time just flies by. But with that being said, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions or anything, I'll do my best to answer them. And I would love additional information, history on these buildings. Please post them in the comments below. And if you want to keep up on the history and my documenting this as it goes along, with downtown Tyler literally changing before our very eyes, like and subscribe to this video. Subscribe to my Facebook page, Tyler, Texas, in photographs, past and present. And keep in touch. Y'all have a good one.